free to families by professionals, all whom served in uniform and understand the needs to be addressed. I ask for your support, so please go to our website, warriorstocitizen.org, and find out how you can help, either by making a donation or sharing this information with an American hero that you may know. And thank you.
Hello, my name is Rick White, and I'm the director of the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame.
For Locked and Loaded on America's Web Radio.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
It's 1 o'clock. We are in America's Web Radio. It's from Atlanta, Georgia.
America. United States of America.
Yes. And this is...
Let's Talk Venezuelan, the English version.
Yes, Let's Talk Venezuelan, the English version. Here we are with the legend, David Moxley and Brett. How you been, both of you, my friends?
Good, thank you. Bien, gracias.
Uh-huh.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, in a few months, David will be in charge of the Spanish version of Let's Talk Venezuela. Hablemos venezolano.
I don't think so. No comprende.
I don't blame you, David. I don't blame you. You know that Spanish language is one of the hardest language to learn because it has so many words that it means the same thing. You know, like 6, 7, synonyms. So
back when I was going to school, I thought I wanted to go pre-med, but I looked at Latin, and back then you couldn't go pre-med unless you could speak Latin or knew Latin.
Yeah.
And talking about a hard language, and I'm not even good at Spanish, much less Latin.
Yeah. I remember when I was taking anatomy classes and all those back in 40 years ago. Yeah, the names used to be in Latin, the name of the body parts and all that.
Please don't mention Christ in front of Satan.
Yeah, so Carlos, what's news?
Well, the first news is that the former vice president of Venezuela, of the Bolivarian Republican of Venezuela.
Republic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aristóbulo Isturiz peló gajo. I mean,
he passed away. Oh my God. Somebody
Okay.
sent me a video of his funeral.
Yeah.
We're talking about Venezuela,
Yes.
Our Venezuela way of doing funeral is mostly
Solemn.
very solemn.
With jokes.
Yeah, but it has to be hush, like quiet.
Yes, quiet, respectful.
Respectful. The priest supposed to be there, some come once in a while.
Yeah.
There were ladies from the church. I'm talking about the Catholic Church because remember,
Yes.
Venezuela official religion is...
No, there is not official religion, but in 85% of the population
Venezuelan population are Catholic.
Follows the Catholic.
Yeah, so there is El Rosario. How do you say Rosario in English?
It's Rosary.
The Rosary, and the prayer time, and people come and hug the wife and the family, and a lot of coffee for the night time. A lot of coffee, drinking a lot of coffee, to be awake with the family, and usually it's very solemn, very
very
But
respectful.
this funeral that I watch on TV, on the video that they sent me on my cell phone, it was all the opposite. I had never seen something like that.
People dancing. people dancing in front of the coffin. It was something that they say, okay, this guy was so bad
But it was
that
not-
people was dancing in front of him. Yeah, he died, you know.
Yeah, but the music that was playing there was not a Venezuelan music.
It was the African music of
Exactly,
Barlovento
the
because
African.
because he was from a zone with a zone named Curiepe, okay, and but it's the second vice president
Who Pelagajo?
who Pelagajo, who passed away.
Who passed away.
Okay,
And Barlovento is a place in Venezuela, in the coast of Venezuela.
in the coast of
And
Venezuela.
majority
Yes,
people who live in there are
are blacks.
so they are descending from the slave back in those days.
Yes.
They came
yes.
from Africa, so
Yes,
they
that-
continue with their
That was the zone where
culture, right?
Yeah, that was the zone where the first blacks came to Venezuela. Long before in United States we have slaving, because remember that the enslavement history in United States began with a black man, with an Angolian, who took another black man as a slave from Africa. Yes. So that's
the one who started the slavery in America was a black man.
was a black man. Yes.
So, but when we say things like that, a lot of people don't like that narrative, right?
Because there is some kind of shame on that matter, you know. But the history is history, and you cannot
change it.
You cannot change it. The thing is that the people of Barlovento, they are direct descendants of the Africans.
So
And,
those people in Barlovento, they are still keeping their culture like from Africa, like the music,
they-
the
they-
religion.
Yes, they have in Venezuela. The Spaniards did not change the culture of the blacks.
Of the black.
Okay,
They
so
didn't force them to convert them to.
yes, they converted, and there is a religious syncretism. Syncretism
okay.
is the mixing of one religion with others. So the blacks, the thing that they did is that they changed the name of their gods in the Yoruba region, and they changed the name, but it's basically the same religion that they used to have in Africa. Remember that the black Africans, the people who were slaves in Africa, were captured by Muslims.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Muslim, basically black Muslims, they were the guys who enslaved the other blacks and sold that people to the Portuguese.
The Portuguese.
That has the license to trade with black people.
Well, you know, the Muslim, they are still practicing slavery today. You know, that
Yes.
never, because it's part of the religion. When somebody doesn't convert to the religion, they have only like 3 options if they want to be alive. And then option number 4 is they kill you if you don't, you know, like beheading and all that stuff. One way of keeping you alive in their territory is by a person who doesn't want to convert is paying like some kind of taxes, right? Very
Yes.
high taxes. And the second is
The taxes is named the Johsie.
the Johsie, okay. And the
Okay.
second option for them to
But
live
that's only applied to the people of the book. That
to the
means
Jews.
to the Jewish, to the Jews and the Christians.
And the Christian, okay.
Okay,
And
but
the
they
other
are
way,
but they are considered servants.
the other way is they're considered like servant.
Yeah.
And then the other way for somebody to keep to be alive is becoming a slave.
Yeah.
Buying
Yes.
you and selling you as a slave.
Yes.
And you are like an animal for them. You are not. You're not worth
Yeah.
nothing. And the other way is.
But congratulations, because last year Mula said that the women right now are from the they're now an animal. Before they were not considered even like an animal.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing about that religion, right? The culture, religion, and everything together. So, when we're talking about the Yoruba area, right?
The Yoruba
area is a three large ethnic group in Nigeria,
exactly
concentrated in the southwestern part of the country.
Yeah, it's the belly of Africa.
Yeah, the one that mixed with the African American continent.
Yes,
that goes like this.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So he passed away. His name is Aristobulus
Turis, and his memory won't be remember.
I was talking to my friend. I told her, hey, Aristobulus, did you watch the video? Aristobulus passed away. She said, I don't want to even see that. He killed my uncle. And she's Venezuelan. She's here.
Wow.
And she said, I don't want to know anything about him. He killed my uncle.
It would be very interesting to have an interview with this lady.
Yeah, to find out what happened with him, right?
Yes. But this is the second vice president that passed away this year. The first was Jose Memiente Rangel.
Jose Vicente Rangel.
That one. Okay. So there is the second vice president during this period of this dark period of the Venezuelan history that passed away. Many people is saying, okay, who will be the next vice president?
Nobody wants to be the vice
president. And the thing is, next, hey, Diosdado, are you ready? Are you ready, Diosdado? Okay. But that's life, and we hope that this situation with the socialism in Venezuela will be over. I don't know when, but I hope that will be soon, because during this week there is the Economist, the magazine, English magazine, published the index of poverty in the world.
Okay.
It's not poverty, it's pauper. It's what is the country that is number one to be the poorest of the poorest,
like a miserable.
The miserable, and Venezuela won.
Venezuela is the number one.
Venezuela.
Not even Zimbabwe.
No, Zimbabwe is 6 times richer than Venezuela right now.
Oh Lord.
Okay. And the thing is, in order you to have an idea, the minimum wage in Venezuela right now is around $3 a month.
$3 a month.
Yes. The United Nations consider a poor country any country that lives with a wage of $1 per day. Okay, Venezuela has a minimum wage of $3 a month. That means around 10 cents or 10% of what is considered poverty. Okay?
So being such a rich country, and today is the worst of the worst.
Yes. It's sad, but something is the end result of the most scientific system, political system that exists in the world. Okay? Any time you implemented socialism at the end of the line, the thing that you got is not poverty. It's
Misery.
below misery.
It's misery.
It's misery. So the other day, somebody showing the Facebook a can of Diablitos. Okay?
Diablitos is like
The underhood deviled ham.
okay.
Okay, and he said we were raised with arepas with diablitos. It was a very common thing.
I remember, yeah.
Okay, and I told him, listen, in that can, you now have a month worth of work in Venezuela.
To buy that little can.
That little can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's how bad the situation is in Venezuela. But anyway, you have that thing where the 95% of the population lives, but there is another 5% of the population that are connected with the government, okay, and with the power, who has houses in the best places not only in Venezuela. There are a lot of people connected to the government, the Venezuela government, that has apartments in Brickell Avenue or in Paris or whatever. Okay, you also have.
So what you're saying is that socialism in Venezuela works very good for some people, but it's terrible for the 80% of the population of the
95%.
country.
The proportion
Okay.
is what they say, the 3%. Okay, the 3% of the population lives like kings. It's like a medieval times. Okay, where the royalty lives like royalties, and the rest of the people were just peasants and servants, and the thing is that stage already reached Venezuela. 95% of the population, 3% are the government's people who travel in their own jets,
private
who had Ferraris and Lamborghinis, okay, who has big yachts, okay, and the other 2% are the people who are near of that people, serving that people, okay, and the rest of the population lives, just waiting for the government to solve their problem.
To hang over something to
okay,
them, yeah.
if there is some clap boxes to buy, well, they would buy that clap boxes that requires around 6 or 7 minimum wages. So everybody in their home had to work.
Chip in.
Yes.
Yeah.
In order to
The clap boxes is, for those who doesn't know, is a box full of non-perishable food.
Yeah.
Like rice, pasta, oil.
Yeah.
Cans, like something in
Yeah,
cans.
basically cans.
Yeah, and flour, salt, sugar.
Yes. But the people right now don't even have money to buy the clap boxes. So right now, and we will talk about we were talking about that before. For example, Maduro gave for the May 1st. Gave the 2 euros as a minimum salary in
2 euros.
2
euros.
Yes. That's
how much is 1 euro?
It's $1.2.
$1.20.
20 cents.
So he gave people $2,
$2.40.
$2.40, not even $2.50.
No.
to Venezuelan a month so they can
month.
live.
Yes.
And the club box costs $6.
Yeah, around $8.
So if in a house, live in a house, let's say 6 people live in a house, they have to chip in order to get one club box.
Yeah, that happens.
And they have
with
to share it.
That happens with the people who live with a minimum wage, okay, in Bolivar.
And it says May 1st, because it's the Communist Day, right?
It's the not really. It's the Labor Day in the rest of the world that commemorates an event that happens here in the United States, in Chicago. Okay, and what they said is they remind that thing, because remember, the communists always want United States to be a socialist country, and we've been fighting the fight against socialism since the middle of the 19th century. Okay, so that what is happening right now in the United States is not new. It happens so many times in the U.S. history with exactly the same results. At the end of the line, socialism is over.
So what you're saying is, you think United States is gonna overcome this situation, what we're going through? So we should not be doing nothing?
No, we have to fight, because remember what Ronald Reagan said. Liberty, freedom is only one generation away to be lost. Okay? The problem is that in Venezuela we have a socialist mentality. We've been with the socialist mentality since the generation of 1928. Okay?
Excuse me.
And
1928.
yes.
Yeah, that was after General Gomez passed away.
No.
28.
No.
1928.
Sí, yes.
The
It
generation of the 28.
Yes.
When the Adecos,
the generation of 28 is a movement of the Venezuelan Central University with you have names as Gustavo Machado, the founder of the Communist Party, and Romulo Betancourt studying in that place that is considered a communist nest since that era. Okay, but what happens? Gomez put everybody of that generation even on jail or in exile. Okay, and Venezuela lived a fair.
But it's showing that Venezuela never came out from that crisis. So my question is,
because after the Gomez passing, and this is the kind of discussion that we had before. The guy who took power was Lopez Contreras, and Lopez Contreras, the only merit that had to be the president of Venezuela is that 5 years before he was the Minister of Guerra y Marina, War and Navy. Okay, so he was the guy who in the real power of the guns, you know. So what happened? That when Gomez passed away, there were a lot of people who says we need to modernize Venezuela in the administration, blah blah blah. And he said, okay, what's the best country in the world right now that can be served as a model? Yeah. And remember, it's 1935, 1936, and who was the guy, or who was the model of government that were most successful in that era? It was Germany. and who was in power at that moment? Adolf Hitler. Okay, and what was Adolf Hitler? He was a Nazi, a National Socialist. Okay, so López Contreras, even though he was against Marxism, he saw the model, the militarist model of Hitler, and he was a military. And do you know something? He followed those steps. He created the central bank.
Yeah.
Okay. He created the system of identification, and he creates also the National Guard. And what that means? That means that from that moment, the state took over the riches of the people who had their gold in the banks, and the government expropriated that gold and says now that gold is the reserve of the nation. No, it was the big expropriation of the nation against the riches of the people. Okay, the second thing was the National Guard that right now in the Venezuelan Constitution appears as the function of the National Guard is to control the population.
Yes.
Okay, and the third part is the creation of the national identification system.
Yeah.
So you have right now in Venezuela since 1936 on today, you have three things. First, the state took over your money, your riches. Now they can do with the money whatever they please.
They took control of your pocket.
Okay, they took control also of your liberty, because the military are now the real power by constitution against the civil. Okay, we don't have Second Amendment.
In Venezuela, no.
No. Okay.
We don't have the 10 amendments.
we don't have the Bill of Rights.
Even the first one, you think
No.
we're gonna have the second?
No, in Venezuela, since 1819, okay, when Bolivar eliminates the Constitution of 1811, okay, in Venezuela we don't have Bill of Rights.
Exactly.
Okay, and the third thing is that you lost also even your identity, because right now the Venezuelan people is just a serial number of the state. It's like we belong to the state instead to be the state belongs to the people. And that's why you have this kind of disaster that right now Venezuela lives. And how can you erase that mentality?
It's like I was everything, that kind of mentality start at home.
Yes.
It starts at home.
Yes.
For example, when you see a mother taking care of her children, but she's not teaching them how to be independent, responsible, to be a good citizen. No. What she's teaching them is, I am your solution, you depend on me, I'm giving you house, I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this. But when those children grow up, they just waiting for mommy and dad to pass away so they can inherit the house that they have. That's what I saw for many years in Venezuela, right?
No, not only that.
But I start at home. So we're going to go in a break, and we're going to come back.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Take it away.
Hi, this is Rocky Blair, former four-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Vietnam veteran. As a board member, I'd like to talk to you about Warriors to Citizen, a nonprofit organization that helps American heroes, soldiers, police, fire, EMT, and their families recover from the psychological harm caused by career-induced stress. Over the last 20 years, broken relationships have been a major causal factor for the highest documented divorce rate and resulting suicides in this population. This program, From Warriors to Citizen, is delivered free to families by professionals, all whom served in uniform and understand the needs to be addressed. I ask for your support, so please go to our website, warriorstocitizen.org, and find out how you can help, either by making a donation or sharing this information with an American hero that you may know. And thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, join me, Roger B., every Tuesday at 1400 hours right here on America's Web Radio for the Locked and Loaded Show. We will talk about guns, weapons, ammo, gun accessories, prepping, and so much more. So be sure to join us every Tuesday at 1400 or 2 p.m. for Locked and Loaded on America's Web Radio.
If you live to serve and want to make an even bigger difference, consider joining the U.S. Army. With training in fields like medical care, linguistics, and engineering, an Army career can amplify your efforts with humanitarian opportunities all over the world. Plus, you'll receive competitive pay and incredible benefits, so you'll be taken care of, too. Learn more at GoArmy.com.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And this is Let's Talk Venezuelan. And we are talking about the socialism, how the socialism in Venezuela convert Venezuela, one of the most richest countries in the world.
Yeah.
And now is the poorest in the world. And let me explain you something. That means that countries are not rich because they have natural resources. Countries are rich because their GDP and the people work and the people create the riches.
Okay.
And let's talk about the best example of what socialism does. This lady, Margaret Thatcher, used to say that socialism works until the money dries out.
Yeah, but today it's different. They still drying up, but they still in power.
So, what happened? In 1970, the income of the Venezuelan people and in real numbers were 10% higher than the United States.
Okay.
1970. 51 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay? But remember that we had in Venezuela slow motion socialism. Okay?
We call it progressivism.
Exactly.
In a progressive way. Slow. And that's what the Democrats comparing Venezuela, what was going on here in America.
Exactly.
That's the same language that also is using. All these Democrats are using the language of progressivism.
Yes.
Okay?
And you can read what's going on right now in Venezuela, and the best example, it's curious, it's the University Simon Bolivar.
The University Simon Bolivar. Is
Yes.
that a public or private university?
It's a public university, but let me explain you something. In the 1960s, they said, okay, we have the central university, but we need and the best of the best education in this country. Remember that in 1969, the President Caldera closed the UCV for almost 3 years.
The Universidad Central de Venezuela, the Central University of Venezuela.
Yes, it was. They
was closed for 3 years.
For 3 years because communists took so many power in that university that the government decided to close it and to check everything in that university. They found guns. They found a lot of.
Oh, so the communists always take the universities.
Yes,
that's not something new.
No, it's not new, and that's when Caldera said, "Okay, let's pacify these people. Let's negotiate with the guerrilla, and let's bring peace." Because in the name of the peace, everything will be all right.
Yeah, sure.
And when you see that people that says, no, we have to be united, no, it doesn't matter how the other guy thinks, when you have this kind of mentality, you have a big problem.
Curiously, that happens to me yesterday. I met with some people and they had that kind of mentality. Not all of them, but one of them told me, where are we gonna go? We're not gonna go to the Democratic Party. I say, no, we don't have to go anywhere. We can stay here in the Republican Party. Yeah, but we need to then unite. And I say, unite with who? With those one who took everybody, specifically the candidates, the Republican candidate. They took the Republican candidate who qualified that week on March. They took them to the slaughterhouse when they knew that they violated the voting laws. The Secretary of State took a decision that it was not allowed for him to take that decision on changing so many things in favor of the Communist Democratic Party of America. And this is where we are now. They are talking now about unify. Oh, you guys, we need to forgive these people who are in charge, who did that, who did this to the voters, Georgian voters. We need to forgive them and move on. It's not about forgiving and move on, because with that same language in Venezuela in 1971?
In 1969.
1969. Look what is the result of Venezuela today.
The end result, exactly. So, in Pan Am Post made an article about the Simón Bolívar University, and it says, not even the Simón Bolívar University is safe from drug trafficking.
Simón Bolívar University in Venezuela is like we're talking about Harvard?
Harvard.
The Harvard of Venezuela.
Yes. Okay. It was supposed to be the most important technological university in Venezuela, because remember, socialism implies that the government directs the economy. Okay.
Yeah, is it the economy director?
Yes, it's the director of everything.
Yeah, like Joe Biden is doing now.
Yes.
And now Joe Biden is promoting free university.
Yes.
Like Venezuela.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
All
so
right.
This article will show you in a very clear way what happened, not only with the university, but what happened with the country.
Okay. Yeah, because supposedly from that university, Venezuela's brains come from that university.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It says, reality showed that as a consequence of the policy of drug trafficking, the USB has been forced to operate for more than 2 decades under a regime of budget insufficiency. Of course, they depend 100% of the government. Okay? By 2021, the USB has delivered 46,177 university degrees, even though the administrative reality that is experienced day by day shows that only the will of the human capital keeps the fight. That's right, not even the Simon Bolivar University, is what they said, is safe for that gale that shakes the houses of higher studies in our country. USB fights fiercely, deciding to defeat ignorance through the spirit that constituted it and which paraphrases its hymn, immutable and intrinsical of light, of peace, of science, of conscience, and of truth. Okay. The Association of Alumni of the University of Simon Bolivar joined forces in defense of its history, tradition, and purpose. They seek to transform pain and indignation into actions. Funds are raised for the recovery and improvements of the physical plant, the information campaigns and promotion of new activities are created, donors are sought, and transparency is maintained in the destination of all money raised through portals and social networks. Resilience and will of the university community in the face of the obstacle of an efficiency public policy. Reality showed that as a consequence of the policy, in January 2020, the 50 years of the beginnings of the academic activities of USB were celebrated. An experimental university that opened with the support of then President of the Republic, Raúl Leoni, Rector Eloy Martinez, 508 students for the 1969 cohort, as well as 25 professors and 15 administrative employees. Today, the University of the Future has the honor of having graduated 3,538 master degrees, 485 doctorates, 37,530 undergraduate graduates, and 8,395 postgraduate graduates, for a total of 45,925 degrees delivered by the USB to Venezuelans, who, thanks to their training, they have fed their families, they have made investments for Venezuela and the world, they have done engineering, mathematics, biology, physics, and chemistry. It is calculated that around 90% of the graduates of the USB now lives outside of Venezuela.
That's what I was going to ask you. How can they graduate so many people and there is no job? There is no a place for them to stay and work.
That's the problem exactly with the socialism, because they create the most expensive employees in the world.
Wait a minute, but the ones who are working in the university are the ones who are making the money.
No, not even them, because they depend of the budget that came from the government 100%. So, but that's the mentality. The government has to give me the resources, and I have to have the opportunity to study at a high level, and they work hard. Don't misunderstand me. But the thing is that the model is wrong.
But that is being implemented now here in America.
They are trying to implement the same thing, and that's why we're right now reading this thing.
But hold on. Let me interfere a little bit in here in this subject, because here in America, the one who are teaching in the university, they are the one who are making money. Look, I met in December a guy. He said that he works hard to send his daughter to the university to find out all the money that he was paying for her to get a career, they were brainwashing his daughter.
Yeah.
But the amount of money that he was paying for that university, he said that he could buy another house, okay, rent it out, and make a very, very good living, not only for him and his wife, but his children too.
Yeah.
So here in America, the teachers in the universities are the ones who are making money out of the parents who are working in capitalism, who are producing in capitalism, and they are watching the brain of their children to become communism, which is going to be nothing for them in the future.
Yeah, but you have open market.
Still.
That means that you don't like where you are. You can move out. You can do whatever you please. But when you have this kind of a structure, you either go out and do nothing, or try to get the knowledge and flee the country. And
so
that's
that father said, well, you know what I'm going to do, because she's being disrespectful. She doesn't respect me. I am the one who's paying, the entitlement. Their entitlement syndrome.
$40,000 a year.
No,
for 4 years, it's $160,000.
Yeah, it's like he said he was talking about $250,000 in her career with expenses of housing and all the stuff, right?
Yes.
So do you know what he was saying? Well, now I'm gonna let her go on her own to school and see who she's gonna be requesting. That entitlement that she's having. We are coming back in a minute. We're going for a break.
Whether cruising the strip in a 57 Chevy or taking the family on a vacation in a 71 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser, you need to tune in to Classic Cars with Steve Ronaldo and Jim Weber every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. on americaswebradio.com.
Hello, my name is Rick White, and I'm the director of the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. I want to encourage all Georgia veterans to consider being nominated to the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. And if you are a Georgia veteran, and the definition of a Georgia veteran is either you were born in the state of Georgia, or you've lived here 10 years, or you were raised your right hand and joined the military in this state, you are considered a Georgia veteran. For further information, go to www.gmbhof.org, or you can contact me at 678-427-0915. We'd love to have your nomination for the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Thank you so much.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Okay, by 2021, the University Simon Bolivar has delivered around 47,000 university degrees. Right?
That means only 1,000 titles per year less than 1,000 titles in 50 years of operation. That's not a big return either.
A big deal, yeah.
No.
And then when it comes to technicians, they only graduated like around 30,000.
Yes.
Okay? So, but for a healthy society to function, you have to have both.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have technicians, look what's going on here in America with the lack of technicians. What they do, they bring technicians from other countries.
That's
because
correct.
Here, the American did not prepare the this generation.
That's what happened in the 40s and 50s, where Venezuela had to import people from Europe that were prepared in countries that were destroyed by the war. And they bring these people to Venezuela. They flourish in Venezuela, and they create the big middle class of Venezuela of the 20th century.
Yeah.
But that middle class, what happened with that middle class?
They are gone now, right?
Yeah. Every people from Italy, Spain, or Portugal that can leave the country, they left. They left already.
They already went through that situation, so they knew what they have to do.
Exactly.
Yes. So these universities are specializing people, giving them master degrees and doctorate degrees.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we have another situation with the University Simon Bolivar. Is the numerous resignation and retirements of the personnel.
Yeah.
Right? Academic, administrative, and worker, due to poor working condition, affects institutional performances. In addition, the position of retired personnel cannot be replaced. Okay, the other day, like 3 weeks ago, I was talking with one of. He just graduated in December. Okay, and he was hired right away to give some classes because they cannot find no professors to teach what he became as a graduated. So. Due to poor working conditions affect institutional performance. In addition, the position of retired personnel cannot be replaced. Following instruction of the National Executive between 1998 and 2019, the regular teaching staff was reduced by 70% and the number of hired staff. So, they increased by 58%. Although the enrollment of student administration has increased, you see, after the prohibition of the application of the internet test in 2015, an open violation of university autonomy, schools' prosecution have decreased significantly. Between 2010 and 16, the average of active students who they did not enroll in each period, it has an estimated of 14%, while between 17 and 18, the percentage was 26%. So even in that drop too.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are making a society
an ignorant society.
An ignorant society. And that's exactly what the socialists love, right?
Yes, that's what they are looking for. To have people that cannot discuss on anything, and eventually what you have is an obedient society.
An obedient society.
Yeah, that's what they are looking for, an obedient society.
So it's not only they are losing all this, what I said before, but they are also losing academic experience of the autonomous university for various reasons. It's also considered that 87% of them were not a scholarship holder. Okay, 85% used to the dining room service to eat, and 65% use public transport.
Exactly.
Okay, but the significant successive loss of effectiveness and efficiency of the services has impacted on the increase in school dropouts. So exactly, if you don't have food at home, you don't have money for public transportation, it's a domino effect, right?
Yes, it's a domino effect.
Okay, the budget for 2021, we are in 2021, insufficiency of the university, of this specific university, Simon Bolivar, reaches 99%. Explain me that.
They are working only with 1% of the budget that they need. The rest is covered by the former students. Okay.
How do they cover the ex-former students?
Well, the former students are creating societies and groups that raise money in order to keep the university working. But you have to understand something. When that university was created, they created that place in a place named Sartenejas, that is very far from Caracas. So the people to go to that university must drive around 30 miles. Okay? 30 miles looks nothing here, but when you don't have transportation means it's a lot. So you don't have public transportation. The infrastructure in that university is poor. Okay, it used to be the best of the best, but if you don't give maintenance on those things, it's over. So right now, the university, you can read the rest of the article to make the comments, because we're almost on
functioning time. The operation expenses are absolutely deficit have allocated resources for that reach 6 months at estimated value in 2020. The internet service stands out, whose annually budget granted enough to cover only 1 month. Okay, so curiously, the national executive has established the need to provide the online education service due to COVID-19 pandemic. That disbursement of resources sent by national executive between January and February reached only 14% of total plan for the period. Maintenance services estimated to guarantee cover for the first 6 months of the year now cover 1 month. And are equivalent to 21% of the annual budget. The budgetary limitation preserve considering resources to cover investment expenses in academic projects and physical plans. 52 buildings, 180,000 of meter of construction only at the Sartenejas headquarters,
Exactly.
as well as the decrease of the liabilities. So,
That's sad.
if the internet is not working for 6 months, only work for 1 month, and a lot of students are at home taking classes internet, so that one is going to collapse too.
Absolutely.
So the only university that is working because it's located in the public.
Almost in the downtown of Caracas is the Central University.
The Central University.
The rest, you have to understand, this was created as the elite university, the best of the student being in that university.
And the people who got the money, the way to get to the place by owning a car, driving, gas, good.
At that moment, because the university was free, well, the students can be at home and get a car. In Venezuela, cars were cheap. Okay, the used cars, and the gasoline was almost.
So they don't have like the universities here, and they have apartments around it where the students.
No, they don't have that.
It's not in Venezuela. It's not like that.
No,
okay.
It's not like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the idea is that the Simón Bolívar University basically is
dying.
It's dying.
The Harvard of Venezuela is dying due
dying.
to socialism.
Yes.
But they were teaching socialism while they were.
Well, the thing in that university is that the highest skilled university. The people of the Simón Bolívar University is not so involved in politics. But that's what happens. The old say that if you are not involved in politics, eventually politics
gets involved with you. And then with this, that's my say here too in America. When a lot of people American, no, I don't follow politics. I don't care about politics. Well, you must well start getting involved, because one way or another, the politics is gonna get involved in your life, in your pocket, in your house, in your bedroom, with your children. Politics are gonna end up controlling your whole family and your personal life.
Yes.
What do you think, David?
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, Steven Seagal had a meeting with Nicolás Maduro.
Steven Seagal, he's a communist.
Yeah, he went to Venezuela. He's
interviewed Nicolás Maduro.
Yes, he was with Nicolás
and what was
Maduro.
The news? What was the
well,
news?
the Maduro gave him the sword of Bolivar.
Do you know any person get a hold of that sword from Simón Bolívar? They somehow end up dead.
Yes.
Steven Seagal doesn't know about it.
No, but he. You know
what Putin did, right? He returned it.
Yes.
That's what he
returned
did.
It, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna talk next week about the sword,
the thing.
Simón Bolívar sword. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David.
Quick Steaks. That's QUIK Steaks.
are not just for surveyors. They are great for family and community gardens. Go online to www.quickstake.com or contact your local land surveying supply dealer and get you a box of Quick Stakes. You'll love them every year when you plant your garden. Again, that's Quick Stakes, Quick Stakes.